Hey everybody, this is Peelit, and you are watching my very first public match of Black Ops 2. Before I actually got into this, I was playing with a few friends. I was playing a free-for-all with a friend of mine, and then over the course of our matches, a bunch of people from my friends list actually came into the game. So we ended up having 6 people in the little party that we had going on. And so we decided, hey, let's go to public matches and play team deathmatch. Now, I wanted to stick in the free-for-all for a little bit because I wanted to kind of figure out how the game played out. And unfortunately, you know, I didn't have as much time. But then again, if I had my way, I probably still wouldn't be playing it yet. Normally, I like to finish the single-player story mode before I head online in pretty much any game. But I just had so many people who wanted to play, and so I was like, screw it. We'll go ahead and play. So I wanted to kind of talk about what I like about Black Ops 2 and what I don't like so far. Now, this is going to be a first impressions kind of thing. So, you know, don't take this as a definite review. This is just a first impressions kind of thing. Obviously, different people are going to have different opinions on the subject, and everyone always disagrees and then calls me, you know, a bunch of different names. Anyway, the first thing with Black Ops 2 that I'm kind of on the fence about, I'm not very excited about it, is that submachine guns tend to rule the day. It feels like the maps are the biggest reason for the submachine gun dominance. I feel like the maps, while bigger in scale, force a lot of close range confrontations. And there are also a lot of routes that can be taken to get yourself into a close range pretty quickly and keep the fights in a close range, and there are a lot of ways to flank a lot of different positions. So there are really not a lot of, I guess you could say, power points in the game, like true power points where, take for instance the car in Nuketown, the one that was on the street, not the one by the grass, but the one that was on the street, that little Jeep kind of thing. That was a power point. You would throw a grenade on it at the beginning of the match, and then you would get on it, and it would be very hard for someone to smoke you out of there if you knew what you were doing. But there aren't a lot of power points like that in Black Ops 2. And the biggest reason for that is that you can get flanked a lot, and there are just a lot of really close range areas where some machine guns can just run up on you and just completely annihilate you without having to really do that much. The range of the submachine gun is pretty much the range that you're going to be in the majority of the time. So it feels like just about every map will allow you to play a submachine gun very effectively. And I don't know how I feel about that. You know, it feels like submachine guns and this rushing playstyle that they encourage has become a little brain dead, you know? People just kind of run around and you can get a kill or two before you die if you just like charge straight in without even thinking, you know. And so I don't really like that. I'm not entirely fond of that. Maybe with a little bit more time things will start to, you know, be a little bit different, but as it is right now, it just feels like brain dead rushing is effective, you know, and it feels like it really shouldn't be, you know. I want to be able to say, no, you have to think before you rush blindly into the area, but you kind of don't have to that much. I mean, there's a certain level of, I guess, awareness that you need, but it's really not that difficult. A stick and move playstyle, like with assault rifles, is pretty vulnerable because of the things I said before. There are a lot of close range engagements that you're going to fall into, and when you're trying to move, you're going to run into some machine gun territory, and then you're probably going to get smoked. So I feel like the only way to really use assault rifles very well is to be in a party and have, you know, a dedicated strategy on gaining control of the map. You're not going to be able to really use assault rifles that effectively on the majority of maps alone. You're going to need some help, from what I've seen. It just seems like submachine guns are always a viable option. So that's one of the big things. I don't think that the submachine guns are inherently overpowered. I just think that the maps cater to them and allow them to be the go-to weapon. Maybe they are a little bit overpowered. I don't know. It feels like they're always a good choice, you know? I haven't seen many people using light machine guns. David Vonderhaar had, and he's one of the big league Call of Duty guys. He's one of the developers. He had actually asked people how to make the light machine guns better during their development process a while ago. And so I was kind of expecting, you know, to see a lot more light machine gun play. And there has been light machine gun use, but I expected a little bit more, you know, but it's so dominated by submachine guns right now that I don't know. They tried, I guess, to make light machine guns more usable, but submachine guns are the go-to guns right now. So light machine guns are still going to get screwed over. Another thing that I'm having an issue with is the lag. A lot of people are having this issue right now, and you know, I hate to talk about it too, but like it is something that I'm not really liking right now. A lot of times you'll die around corners, and that's not fun. You know, it really isn't. I tend to look at the gun to figure out where I was when I died. Unfortunately, it still is pretty deep, and there are a lot of instances where I'm like, no, there's no way that gun could penetrate the surface I just ran around. No, I refuse. Lag is a bit of an issue right now. I hope that they can fix this, because I recall Black Ops 1 having some issues with lag on release. I'm hoping that this can be fixed, and when it is fixed, we'll see how the game changes. That could also be a reason why submachine guns are dominating right now, because of the insane lag right now. I don't know. It seems like a lot of times you just insta-die, and that sucks. So yeah, that's another thing that I haven't been too fond of. Now, a lot of the weapon balancing feels good. A lot of it feels right. Not a lot of it feels, you know, like it's like there's a blatant overpowered setup. I would say the MP7 is a little bit better than it should be. That's my idea, but I feel like there's not a lot that's like blatantly overpowered, so that's a good thing. However, there are some things that are just kind of stupid. Shot grenades, so abusive. Oh my goodness, I hate shock grenades. Jeez, it's like you can throw them down, they work as a flashbang if you want to use them like that, but if they miss, then they become a mine, and they sit there forever until someone activates it, and I can't stand that, you know. They'll throw it down, and then they have an instant alarm to whenever you decide to come through. You're stunned. You can't move at all, I don't think. If you can, then you can move like a millimeter, but you're just stuck, you know, and it sucks. It's not a long time that you're stuck, but every second feels like an eternity, and that's the big issue as far as I'm concerned. So it really feels horrible to get hit by shot grenades, and people are going to start using them a whole lot more. Bouncing Bettys are also spammed to heck. I can't stand bouncing Bettys, and also the bouncing Bettys don't always activate their sound, and when they do activate the sound, it's generally too late. And there's so much stuff littering the ground the majority of the time that trying to spot a bouncing Betty is dang near impossible. So I think that is a bit of an issue. I can't stand stuff like that, like the bouncing Bettys, the claymores, C4, those things that they just put around there and they get, you know, freebie kills off of it. I can't stand stuff like that, but whatever, a lot of people like it. So the quick good things that I like about the game, doesn't feel like any weapons are really overpowered. It's just plain fun, you know. It offers a lot of game modes, and it's encouraging people to get out there and play other game modes, which I think is really, really awesome. the zombies so far is really cool. I know I was just talking about multiplayer, but I just wanted to say zombies is fun. But I enjoy the game. It's fun overall, right now at least. I like the pick 10 system. I think that was very, very well done, and I don't know if I could go back. I don't know if I could go back to something that's not the pick 10. So those are the things that I really like about the game, and those are the things that I'm kind of not too thrilled about. Let me know what you guys like about the game, and if you enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would support it with a like, a comment, a favorite, whatever you choose to do. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.